Guys, Sarge here. What we're going to be talking about today are some gun shop stories that I've personally encountered. What I plan on doing with this series is reaching out to some of my followers on Instagram and having them come in and tell me some of their stories that they've experienced, and then I'll share them on here as well. The first gun store that we're going to be talking about for me is Cabela's. I have had a lot of encounters at Cabela's, a lot of good ones, a lot of not so good ones, right? And in a bunch of their stores, there's a wanted picture with my name and face on it, so that way when they see me, they can ask me to leave the store before I educate all their workers, and then they're actually educated in what they're doing, and they realize how crazy marked up all their gun prices are. So one of the encounters, and this recently happened again, okay, because it's happened multiple times, and I just thought it'd be worth maybe some of you guys hearing. There was a female who was wanting to purchase her first gun, right? And you could tell she really didn't know what to look for. And the clerk, because he calls himself a gun expert, but he's not, the clerk behind the counter was pushing her to buy a revolver. And she just didn't know if, and she said some very good comments right out the gate. For someone who didn't know anything about guns, and she said she had no history of them, didn't grow up with them, she made some very good comments saying, well, doesn't that revolver have a very heavy trigger, and do you think that's something I should start off on? Okay, that's pretty good. Talked about the size overall on the revolver. Well, you know, I could carry a bigger gun. Shouldn't I just start off with that? Well, yeah, that's pretty good. And then even talk about the sights and different things in there. So I want to come and bring you guys some of these things so you guys don't make the same mistake. With the revolver, this is a Smith & Wesson 642, and this is almost the same one she was looking at. You are stuck with a blade and then a U-notch gutter style sight, okay? You're going to get a 10 to 12 pound trigger press in there, okay? And then you can get different grips for it. That's 100% doable. You can, right? Now, with that, I recommend, and I carry all my guns in Kydex holsters, okay? So that's what you get out of the revolver. Now, this is an air weight, so it weighs about 15 or so ounces loaded, or roughly the same size, okay? You can get a Smith & Wesson Shield, all right? This is about 20 ounces or so, whatever, and instead of you having to, being a first-time gun owner, try to reload a revolver or try to reload a Smith & Wesson Shield, and you tell me which one is easier, okay? 7 rounds in a flush-fitting magazine instead of 5 rounds of 38 special, and it's just much easier to, one, shoot with this because of the sights. The sights are a little bit better on it, right, with your 3-dot sight system. Your trigger press, you can't beat that, okay? So the individual, the triggers are different. The feel of it is different. This kind of forms into your hand a little bit better than some of those revolvers do, and that's some of the points that she was actually looking for. However, the gun store clerk at Cabela's convinced her, almost, right, until I stepped in, but almost convinced her that a revolver is what females should carry because they're not going to carry as much as a man, and they're not going to shoot as much as a man, so they shouldn't carry the biggest gun or bigger gun similar to what men carry. And that is, one, disrespectful, and two, absolutely false. And I don't understand how anyone working at a gun store should feel that way or should say things like that if they're truly educated. Obviously, he's an amateur. So with that, I recommend you purchase the gun you can, one, shoot the best. Well, how do we know that? Go to a gun range, rent a gun. Almost every gun range here in America has a rental section. And all these bigger named, more popular pistols are there. Rent them for 10 or 15 bucks. Go and shoot it. Make sure you can actually handle some of the recoil. I've seen some females where they'll go and purchase a 40 Smith & Wesson because their husband convinced them of it. And they just, no matter how much training they have or whatever it is, they just can't control that as well as they can a 9mm. Okay? I carry a 9mm. I'm not saying only females should carry 9. I carry a 9. So with that, that's something to think about. When we are looking at different functionalities of pistols, and we're looking at whoever it should be to carry it. I really don't think that certain pistols are gender specific. Okay, this is one of those gender neutral situations. If a man could carry a Glock 19, so can a female. Now, due to their attire, due to certain things that they wear, they might have to, one, dress a little differently or find different ways to carry it. I absolutely understand that. However, a female can shoot a Glock 19 just as easy as a man. So whenever we're looking at recommending pistols and we're recommending certain firearms, I recommend you buy, purchase, carry the one you shoot the best, the one you feel the most comfortable with, and one that can at least give you the best return side for satisfaction. What I mean is, if I am out at the range and I'm training with whatever pistol I'm using, right? Do you think I'm going to get more satisfaction out of going to the range every time I shoot this lightweight 38 special? I don't want to shoot it anymore because it's hurting my hand or whatever I'm doing. It's just not as fun, right? And we're talking about that first-time gun owner. Or do we want to go to the range where we actually enjoy shooting the pistol? We actually enjoy putting rounds through it, and it's something we look forward to. And that's something these gun clerks don't understand, especially when they're talking to the female side of it, because they're uneducated and they live in their mother's basement. They've never talked to a female before. So it's very important to note those things, that we want to get the pistol you're going to want to shoot the most. So don't go too small, okay? Don't get the smallest gun out there because you're thinking about just throwing it in a purse and calling it a day. What if you need to use it? That goes with the mindset piece. Just think about that, guys. So that was my experience with it. I brought up some of those concerns to the female at the gun counter. The clerk immediately got defensive, and I asked him, well, hey, what gun do you carry? And he carried a Ruger GP100 chambered in .357 Magnum. I asked him where his gun was, and he said, well, we don't carry here at this Cabela's. Okay. Did you walk through a metal detector? Okay. So you're telling me you're recommending what guns to carry, but you don't carry a gun all the time. I automatically dismiss everything you say. You recommend what guns to carry or recommend what guns to use, but you go shooting once every 6-7 months. I dismiss every single thing you say. You don't know anything in that field, and yet you want to speak the most on it. And that is extremely dangerous, and those are people we need to not listen to. Okay, so this was my bit for Gun Shop Almost Horror Stories, right? Let me know what you guys think about it. We'll definitely add more to this, and we'll go more in detail with certain aspects of it. Stay tuned for more, guys. Sarge out.